Hi, this is Pastor Jeff coming to you from my neighborhood. Today I want to tell you the story of a man named Bill. Bill was born on the 4th of July in 1938 in Slab Fork, West Virginia. He was the youngest of 6 children. His mother was a maid. His father was a miner. When he was 3 years old, Bill's parents divorced. When he was 13, his father died. He enrolled in the Navy when he was 17 years old. After a 9-year stint in the Navy, Bill moved to Los Angeles, and he took work on the assembly line at the Douglas Aircraft Corporation. Bill recorded demo tapes of songs that he had written and performed in clubs at night, and gave everything that he had to get into the record business. He wanted to be a singer and a songwriter. The year was 1967, and Bill was 29 years old. You know, there are a lot of opinions out there right now having to do with the pandemic that we're facing. Chances are, whatever your opinion is, you can find a study to back up your way of thinking and your way of looking at things. There are stories, blog posts, podcasts, news stations that run the gamut of opinion and fact. Some people wear masks, others don't. This week we learned that some local churches and churches in Minnesota will be opening up their buildings for services after May 26th. I, for one, hope to lead celebration on a really cautious path toward reopening. We are creating a plan as we speak. I believe that our faith is bigger and more broad than the United States Constitution, and I believe that care for our vulnerable neighbors is more important than expressing my religious rights at this time. You may disagree with me. That's okay. I'll still love you, and I'll still be your pastor if you'll let me. But there is one thing I hope that you will agree with me on at this time, that friendship is a really important part of life, maybe now more than ever. Chances are you can use a little of that, a little friendship, despite the fact that we can't gather together in large groups yet. A lot of people are hurting out there. People have lost their jobs and lost opportunities, missed graduations and parties. Vulnerable people are dying. We can't have proper funerals for the ones who we lose. It's all pretty terrible. But the terribleness cannot stop us from showing grace to one another. We just need to make sure that the anxiety we feel about the world around us doesn't get the best of us, shorten our tempers, make us misplace our anger and our frustration. I've had the same best friend since I was 5 years old. His name is Dave. I don't see him much nowadays because our work schedules never seem to line up. But I love him so much. He's had my back for 52 years, and there's no stopping. A few weeks back, his brother died suddenly after suffering a stroke. I wish I could be with my friend right now. I wish I could hug him and tell him that his brother's life was important and good, that it mattered, and that we won't forget him, and that God won't forget. Do you have a good friend out there who needs some support today? Then why not, when this devotion is over, call that person tonight or text them and ask them, how can I pray for you today? Maybe you need to reclaim a friendship. Maybe you need to forgive someone or be forgiven. Why not try? You can tell them, hey, my pastor talked about friendship tonight. I thought of you. Back to Bill's story. He got his big break in the music business. He made a record. And he posed for the cover of the album at his day job, holding his lunchbox. He didn't quit his day job because he knew that music was such a fickle business. But in 1972, Bill won a Grammy for Best R&B Song. And he went on to write and record some of the most popular and covered songs of the 1970s. He performed with the likes of Gladys Knight and the Pips, James Brown, and B.B. King. And Bill wrote a song about friendship that went all the way to number 1 on July 8, 1972. And that song was called Lean on Me. And that man was named Bill Withers. New York Times called him a soulful singer with a gift for writing understated classics. Bill Withers died recently on March 30th of this year, a little less than 2 months ago. If you lived through the 1970s, you know his music. If you're young, then I suggest you look him up. Jesus once said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." In other words, Jesus said, lean on me. You've got a friend in Jesus. He died for you. Your sins cannot haunt you anymore. He was raised so that you and I and Bill Withers can sing in heaven together someday. And as you lean on Jesus, I encourage you to reach out to someone today and tell them that they've got a friend too. You can embody his love through the simple art of being a friend. Usually at the end of these devotions, we ask you to go and find a Bible verse. But today, I would love it if you would plug into a music source, Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube, and pull up the song Lean on Me by Billy Withers, and then go and call that friend. This is Pastor Jeff. We love you, Celebration. Stay well.